I'm here with Christopher Schmitt from Environments for Humans, and we're going to talk a little bit about his upcoming conference, his In Control conference in Orlando. How you doing?
Hey, doing fine, Gene. How are you doing?
Good, doing great.
Cool.
Well, tell me a little bit about this In Control conference.
Well, it's a conference that we work with local AIGA chapters, and if people who don't know, AIGA is a professional design network and professional organization with chapters throughout America. And so the first In Control we actually did with the AIGA Cincinnati chapter.
Okay.
And that was just a huge success, and so we decided to move it to other areas. And so this is our second annual in Control with AIGA Orlando. And
okay.
so one of the cool things is that when you buy a ticket, part of the fees actually go back into AIGA Orlando.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, so it's giving back to community, and people might know us because we're Environments for Humans. We do a lot of online conferences, and so and part of the things we do is we give back to the community. So we're able to through the jQuery Summit, which we talked about earlier in a different podcast, was that we were able to give $4,000 back to the jQuery Foundation.
That is incredible.
Yeah, so it's part of our mission to give back to the community, and so
That's
that
awesome.
and also part of our mission is just to put on really great conferences. And so, like I said, we put on a lot of online conferences, mostly because it's travel hassle,
right?
And but we want to get this content out, the education out to people who need to know what's going on, what's the latest things.
Yeah. So this was a little different. Why are you doing the in-person conference this time?
Yeah, because we have a history of conferences. I speak at a lot of conferences, and then my partner Ari, she's worked with South by Southwest
right
for a number of years, and so we have really strong opinions on what makes a really good conference, and so when we put our heads together, we say hey, what we could do, and what can we do differently, and what we think is beneficial to people. To share our mutual love of web design and trying to teach people who need this information. Right. And so what's different about In Control is that the session, first one is we start with, we only do one track, and so for 2 days, we also limit the number of people who can attend. We don't go for 200 people, we don't go for 400 people, we don't go for thousands of people like South by Southwest. We're not aiming to be a South by Southwest, because that's nothing wrong with that.
It's kind of unattainable. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and it serves its own need, and so we really want to keep it intimate and focused in one track, because we want people that talk about what they're learning, and also network and share what's going on. And since we have this one track, we actually work on trying to develop a curriculum where we start from kind of the basics. We start with HTML. This time we're just starting out with HTML5,
mm-hmm.
and then we're going to move to CSS3, and then we're going to do some interaction between HTML5 and CSS, and then we're going to have then talk about jQuery and how to use jQuery.
Great.
And those are really good sessions in the sense that they're not just a half hour long, they're not 45 minutes long, they're not an hour long, they're actually an hour and 40 minutes long.
That's plenty of time, yeah.
Yeah, and so the idea is just hey, because if you go to a different a traditional conference, you might get a slot for an hour, but sometimes the speaker might feel rushed
mm-hmm.
to get the content in there, or might feel they don't get they weren't hoping to achieve their goals. They're not. Sometimes attendees might not feel like they have enough time to answer the questions.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure there's plenty of time for speaker attendee interaction, and that's probably one of the main goals that surrounds In Control, was that we want to make sure that here are the experts in web design. We have plenty of face time to talk to them and go back and forth, and so
that's pretty awesome.
So one of our speakers is Stephanie Sullivan, and she was just she was the first time she did In Control, she was I don't know if I can actually speak for an hour 40 minutes. And I'm no offense, but I think you're going to do great. And and so she actually ran out of time for an hour 40 minutes. But
wow.
but she got like high marks in her talks,
I
and
can
she
see
thought
where she would run out of time, though. She knows a lot of stuff.
yeah, she knows a lot of stuff, and so that's just the first day, and the second day we do kind of more relaxed. We're not on a really hard curriculum sort of
Right.
say. And the second day for this event, we're going to have Mark Tremmel from Twitter. He's going to talk
Nice.
about design research, what they're doing there. We have Aaron Walters talking about the emotion of
Right.
design, emotional design. We also have Greg Ruiz from Adobe,
That's
who
cool.
talk about CSS and maybe the web workflow. And then we also have Emily Lewis, who wrote this fantastic book on microformats, and
Yeah.
so she's gonna be talking about microformats and how to use them and into like your everyday workflow and stuff like that. So that's just a great compliment to the first day. And the first day we'll have Kimberly Blessing from Comcast Interactive.
Great.
We have, of course, Stephanie Sullivan doing the CSS. And then we have Dave McFarland, who's written CSS the Missing Manual, JavaScript the Missing Manual, Dreamweaver the Missing Manual. So he knows where all the information is. And he's a really great teacher. And he's going to talk about jQuery and how to use it effectively. And then, of course, then at the end of the day is Ethan Marcotte,
Oh, yeah.
who recently just left Happy Cog, and now he's doing his own thing. And so he'll be talking about responsive design and stuff like
Great.
that. So, and then for keynotes for day one, we're having to kick off each day. We have like an hour-long keynote.
Right.
And for the first day is Daniel Burka, who used to be
wow.
the head designer for Dig,
Yep.
but now he's over at TinySpec, working on the online game Glitch.
Yeah, and that's like a HTML, CSS based interface for the game too, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, which he demoed it a little bit while I was in San Francisco recently,
wow.
and it looks freaking awesome. It looks good. It should come out like a little bit like a month before or so before In Control. So
Oh wow, that's great.
yeah, and so it's gonna be a really great lineup. And then at the end of each day, so we have like extended sessions, great speakers. Then we have a wrap up session, and that lasts about half an hour, and we just talk about any questions that you weren't thinking to ask, or maybe there's a question from another group another session that you want to ask another speaker.
Right.
This is the time to like ask those questions. It doesn't have to be anything about sessions that you were at. Maybe there's like some other component at work you want to bring into it.
Yeah.
So again, this is a great example of where In Control allows you to like really dive deep, into how to make the web work better for you.
I really like how you're curating the day. It's a little bit, most of these things, it's like the same formula, right? It's like talk for 45 minutes, next speaker, talk for 45 minutes. You're like looking at the day, looking at, okay, we want to give these guys an hour, then we want to give them 45 minutes to follow up, and then at the end of the day, you have the overall follow-up session. It's really commendable. I dig that.
Right. Yeah, that's I think that's part of our strengths too. Is just that we want to make sure that we're not like throwing an HTML session at the end of the conference.
Yeah.
When you really need that information like the first day.
Yep.
And so we're trying to hit that goal. And then another thing is like like I said, really I've gone to a lot of conferences and I love what design conferences like I'm sure you do too. So
yeah, they're very fun.
one thing I kind of dislike in South by Southwest is I call it South by, we're friends, but is that you get all this swag that you don't really need, all these like and so I'm actually talking to book publishers, and the only swag that you'll be getting is books.
Oh wow.
So we've got
that's better.
Yeah, so we're actually get web design books for everyone who signs up, and so I'm hoping to really hoping just to dump a whole bunch of knowledge on you.
Wow.
On that, and so we have Field Notes Brands giving a notebook for everyone.
Oh wow.
And then I've Peach Pit and O'Reilly are donating books, and I'm talking to other publishers too. So
That's
I'm really
great.
and then also since it's one track, 2 days. There's a hotel. We're actually in a hotel, so you don't have to like go anywhere or whatever. So it's actually in the hotel. You have to walk anywhere or do anything like that. We're actually going to pay for the snacks in between sessions, and also have lunch there provided too. So
That's great.
So plenty of we try to take care of you and make sure you have like ample fuel to learn and stuff like that too.
That's great.
So and we're also working with sponsors to get social parties and all that stuff like that going too.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have. That's It sounds like a great day. I know we're going to come down and hang out with you and check out the conference and stuff, but we're absolutely excited for this conference.
Cool.
And like I said, the thing that draws me most is you're like you said, you're not going for 500 people, so it's an intimate setting.
Right.
It's just really, I feel like we're going to get some really deep knowledge about all these subjects from these people.
Yeah, and that's the idea. I mean, that's
That's
I don't want you to like say like, wow, that one like that one piece of JavaScript was really cool, but then he just had to rush and finish the rest of his slides.
Right.
I didn't want to. I find that really kind of distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, like because you go to this city or this faraway city and you like try to learn something and like
all I got was one piece of JavaScript.
Right.
Yeah.
But the hotel bill was awesome. But, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Chris. Thank you so much, and we look forward to this conference, and we'll see you there.
Cool, man. I'll see you there, man.
Awesome.
Thanks much, man. See you.